thought I would put in here a little blurb about, and I don't know where this is going to fall. I just thought I'd video it since I'm working on it. About my gardening journal. Do you guys have a gardening journal? Do you guys garden? This is my first big year of gardening, and one of the big things that I've learned about gardening is you need to remember what you did, because you don't want to do it again, in my case. But in general, you want to know what you did that worked so you can do it again. Right now, mine is full of a lot of don't do that ever again. But I'm learning, and it's my first year, so I think we did pretty good. Anyways, I decided to keep a gardening journal, and I found this Kate Daisy Planner 2021 on Amazon, and isn't it beautiful? I think it's just beautiful. And it started in August, and I had great intentions of going back and filling all that in August, and I didn't get it done. So I decided, instead of stressing myself out, I'm just going to leave it for pretty pictures and not worry about it. But aren't the pages just right? But I thought I would see, does anybody else have a journal on things that you do? You know, meaning like a topic of something. So my latest obsession on YouTube is floss tube. I don't sew on any level pretty much, but they talk for like an hour at a time, and it fills the silence in my house. And so I've gotten addicted to watching these floss tube. But anyways, a lot of them have like little journal planner things on what they've sewed for the week. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I might even do something like that down the road if I decide I don't want to do videos all the time, just like one a week instead, maybe through the summer or whatever. But for right now, I'm just doing a gardening journal. That's a whole different topic. But look at, isn't it just gorgeous? She has all kinds of calendars and planners and stuff. Anyway, so this is September. And I am slowly getting my groove figured out for what it is. I had planned on writing down like my watering and all that stuff on the calendar, and realized that my plants, they have an attitude, and they in general do whatever the hell they want to do when they want to do it. I want to water 3 times a week and be done. Because you got to understand, it takes me, I don't know, 15 gallons of water every time we water. We have rooms and rooms of vegetables and herbs growing in the house. So it takes forever. And so it's like, listen, we need to work together. And instead, I'll look down there and one of my basils will be like pitiful. I'm like, you just got water. What happened? And it'll say, I want more now. And so it doesn't stick to a schedule. And then one room will grow differently than the other room. And it's just like, it's so rude. It's just so rude. And so, yeah. I wonder if I can adjust. Let's see how that does. Oh, did that work? Anyways, it may bounce back and forth. If it does, I'll turn that off. Anyway, so that kind of went fizzle. But I figured that at a glance, I could see what days I have more of a bigger journal, written. And so, like, I have the first, and so here's the first. And then I'm printing out my photos to put in here. And it's not a detailed thing because I don't know why. It just isn't. It's just a look back of what happened, when, and what was going on. So that's my plan. So like on the first, it shows that I harvested a bunch of our winter squash and I found a praying mantis. My thought is that next year I could look back and I could see when we harvested our squash, and that would Ta-da! Now, if I was wanting this to be searchable and easier to follow and that kind of stuff, obviously I would do this on my computer. And eventually I might do that if it gets to the point where I have that much going on. But right now I figured I'd start with this and see where it went. Then there's my cardinal basil. And I had a kohlrabi that I didn't plant, but it grew. And so you kind of get the idea. And look at this paper. It's just gorgeous. It was just another excuse to buy another planner. Isn't that what we do, is look for excuses? So it's like we had our first hard frost this day, and I had to bring in all of my green tomatoes, which, by the way, ripened beautifully. We got a set of pink LED lights. Yuck. You don't like them. They grow really well, but I don't like the color. It's awful. We tried a new type of potting mix, planted some seeds. You get the general idea. So this is kind of how it looks. And all of this is on my Facebook page. So if you guys want to know like what we use to grow, what our gardens look like, what kind of seeds we use, what do we do, what do we grow inside, all that kind of stuff, I'll put all the links down below. But I have all this in detail on my Facebook page. Because growing food is, in my book, right along with eating vegetables, plant-based. Yeah. It saves you a ton of money. Microgreens alone. This is like $100 worth of microgreens, and it cost me pennies to grow. So this is kind of where I'm at. But I figured, it's like I'll look back and I'll go, oh yeah, we grew zinnias that year, and stuff like that. And because, I have time, just lots of time, I started this journal because that's how I roll. But anyway, so that's kind of the plan. So I thought I would just kind of take you along with what I've got going on. And let me cut these out real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so basically I won't make you sit through journaling it, but I kind of write down what the picture is and what the dates are. And I'm trying to get into the habit of when I print my photos out to do my fauxbonichi pages, I just print out a second one that if it's related to gardening to use in my gardening journals. And I'd like to say I'm trying to get into the habit, but I haven't even started trying to get into the habit because every time afterwards I go, dang it. Ugh. And yeah, So anyways, this is then I end up with this, gotta go find the pictures again and all of that kind of thing. So basically what I kind of do, I'm not trying to do this like perfect or have it like in any, I don't care if it's, because it's not going to be a lot of detail. So like my notes are strawberries on the 24th. I found strawberries, which is really funny considering the fact that I dug all the strawberries up. So finding strawberries now is funny because they weren't supposed to be there. But they were hiding in the nasturtiums, and the nasturtiums are crazy back there as soon as the weather got cool, and the strawberries are now hiding with them. And so I'm going to write a little bit about that. And then the next one that I have on the next day, so that would be down here on the 27th, and since I don't have anything for the 25th or 26th, I could glue this right in just like this. Yeah. And that way I can journal around that. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. And here we are at the end of September. And thanks to a little bit of plastic, I'm not watering them anymore. So when they're done, they're done. But thanks to a little bit of plastic, we are still harvesting patty pan squash and this striped zucchini squash. And I'll tell you what, if you want a producer, that patty pan squash, whew, it's a growing machine. It is. I have 2 plants in the back. I bet we got hundreds of squash off of it this year. It's just crazy, and you can't tell because there. Nope. Anyways, there's a closer picture on my page. What happened here? There we go. there's just hundreds of little baby squash still ready to come up. So anyways, I have in my notes that that's what that is. And so I'll fill in around there for that one. And then we got my outdoor garden structure finished. No construction on it next year. Although I'd like to say no construction at all, but that'd be a total lie, because now that we're in the mode, I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 4x10 raised bed gardens. Hopefully next year. We will see how that goes. Part of paying off your mortgage and not having that bill anymore is that you have money to spend on what you really want to spend it on. So yeah, that's been a perk, is we've actually can start planning stuff. Okay, so then my next thing is, we got all of our see, I don't really care for this, so this picture here is gonna go over here. I'm gonna make it a flap though, because that's pretty, but I might just glue it down. I don't know. Anyways, we got our winterizing all put away out in our shade gardens and all that stuff, and it's all of our piping. We used PVC piping for the whole yard, but you have to protect it around the apple trees and stuff, because the deer are like bulldozers and they'll break everything. So that's going to go there. And then the next thing we have is what we've got growing inside. So I have this picture, and I may just journal on the back of this. That might be easier. I'll find some paper to put on the back and journal on the back of that, because I have a lot to go on these 3 days. We also took all of our plants that we had in pots outside, that were outside all summer, and we dunked them in a soap bath and then sprayed them really good, and then brought them in the house for the winter. And so I'm probably just gonna like chink, chink, chink these. And then the last thing I have that we did was that I've been testing out fluorescent lights versus pink LED lights versus white LED lights, and the pink ones grow slightly better than the white LEDs. The white LEDs and the fluorescents do relatively the exact same. So I'm going to pick up some more white LEDs. I cannot stand the color on the pink LEDs. It's awful. And if you're a normal person and you don't have this in your house, then it's not a big deal. But I have all this in different rooms of my house, and it's just terrible. So I will be, we'll be keeping those because they do work. I'm not getting rid of them, but I'm going to start replacing out my fluorescents with the white LEDs because they do just as good. These are full-size pak choi and tatsoi. So they're, well, hold on. I'll show you what they are. Okay. So this is what we're growing in the house for our winter greens. Some of it. This is a pak choi, and it is about a foot and a half tall. It's going in dinner tonight. I will leave the center part. I've already harvested the leaves off of this twice. So I'm going to take all these big leaves, because I have a whole bunch in one of the other rooms. I'm going to take all these big leaves off, and then I am going to cook those, and then the center ones will grow up and become big again. So that is my pak choi. And this is one of my little tatsois. It's not little though. It's, I don't know, a foot across-ish. And it is also on its third harvest. And so we'll take all of these outer leaves off and put them in a meal. And then these center ones will go. And I'll just keep doing that until it bolts and blooms. And when it bolts and blooms, I usually can get 3 to 5 cuttings off of one before it does that. And then I already have baby ones coming up. So by the time these guys are done, the next group will go. And so, yeah, that's, because you can't, you can't get this in your own, in the stores and stuff, at least around here. So anyways, so I was just showing the different, these are the babies I actually have coming up, that are going to replace these. So, yeah, so I wanted to put a note about that. So I will probably hook all of these in and I have this paper that I tea-dyed, which doesn't really go with this, but I might do that and glue on the back. I don't know. But I just kind of wanted to share that, and then we're headed into October. Isn't that cool? And then I'm going to start it all over in October because we grow year round because I have all these grow things in the house. And so we have vegetables and microgreens. We're going to try tomatoes and cucumbers again this year. I'm hopefully going to do better. I did get tomatoes and cucumbers last winter in the house, but I'm going to try again this year. I've learned a lot. And so I'll just be filling it out. So I will update you down the road on how that's going. But I'd love to hear, do you guys have a gardening journal or a crafting journal or things like that? Do you keep track of what you did on that kind of stuff, or do you just have like a daily journal or something, which is totally fine too. So do I. But yeah, I just thought I would share that. And if you have any questions or comments or any of that kind of stuff, leave them down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.